Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. It's me, Captain Logan. Joining me, as always, is the provocative and hysterical DJ Martinez. Hello, DJ.
Ooh, provocative.
Yeah. First adjective that came to mind.
Well, I'll try to live up to that this evening.
Tonight, he'll also answer to the provocateur.
Yeah, I'm really going to be pushing the boundaries this evening with reading your questions. I really have no say in what happens. I just read what I'm told.
He's only choosing the controversial ones, so make them juicy or we're just going to sit here.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, please don't do that, because later I'm going to say within reason, you're going to be like, oh, you were joking. You had no intention of living up to that. Welcome, everybody. Thanks a lot for being here. It's a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. That means we're going to talk about geeky news and whatever other fascinating, insightful, awesome. I'm really setting the bar high. This is what I'm expecting from you folks. Questions, comments, and topics you guys would like to chat about. DJ, tonight we're not going to do a single lead-in topic. We're going to do many of them. It's another multi-topic extravaganza. I found several, and by found, I mean I stole them from the Geekvolution, the Discord, because folks keep me up to speed there on what's happening in the news. And thank you guys so much, everybody that does that. It's always updated. There's always brand new articles about whatever's going on in movies and television, and sometimes comics and video games and things. And it's not always stuff that I'm interested in, but I like seeing a huge wide variety of things, even if I don't care, because folks are discussing news in there, but also it kind of keeps me apprised and gives me a lot of material for the show. So I don't bring that up enough. I don't take it for granted. You guys are wonderful and things like that. I don't always look at it, but for a show like this, it's especially helpful. So thank you guys a ton for doing that. So we're going to talk about the some new announcements from MCU with Disney Plus stuff specifically, and several other things. And I've already seen at least one question referring to an article that I already have pulled up, or at least a news thing that I already have pulled up. So there's some stuff that people want me to talk about that I'm already planning on, and apparently it sit closer to your webcam night, according to DJ Martinez. This is how we're going to do the show this evening, and just watch the viewer count drop. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that stuff, and then we're going to do an Ask Me Anything show like we almost always do. We always do that. We always take questions on this show. It's how we pad it out to 2 hours.
We can't prepare that much material.
How the heck are you doing, DJ?
I'm doing well. I'm doing as well as I can be. I sent you a video earlier that the theater seating just arrived. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Didn't have any time.
When I get there and we watch a movie in the theater, if we watch a movie in your theater, I'm going to have my place to sit. And that's really exciting to me, because I really thought I was just going to stand in the back. It would be standing room only, but only because there are no chairs.
Yeah. Well, we had a couch in there before, but we're gonna replace that. Yeah, it'll be all set for you when you get here. It's gonna be exciting. Had no time to put them in today. Hopefully, I'll have some time, tomorrow or later this week to get those in for you, just for you, for you, Cap.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Wow, nobody's ever bought theater seats because I was flying in before. I think that's the nicest thing anybody's ever lied to me about.
No, people lie to you all the time, Cap.
It's usually not that nice, though. So I'm really excited to go to be at your place, DJ, not only because you have your own movie theater. I'm actually jealous about that, and I almost stopped being friends with you over it.
Understandable.
No, hey, I've got all kinds of cool things that you don't have. So
I don't have an arcade in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
You nutcase.
Yeah, and you know what? If I had to trade, I don't know which I'd pick, honestly. I'd probably actually still take the arcade, because I have something close enough to a movie theater that, like, if I can't have just a room for that, and I don't know, I could finish the bunker down here and also have a theater, but I much prefer it open and, industrial like it is.
Yeah. Then we wouldn't get such cool opening shots for the streams.
That's true. A lot of it would just be a movie theater screen. Hey, if we can rig it up, we should consider doing a commentary in that room.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we could do it in there. Sounds great in there, obviously.
I bet that would be really neat. Well, the question is just, like, can we rig it up so that we can get headphones, like, into... You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like into your rig. That could be complicated. We'll need a really long line and a splitter.
Yeah, that's true. We might have to do some planning, like now before you get here to figure that out.
And in front of everyone. When no one cares, because that's what we do on the Stop Announcing Things show. Hey, it's time to announce something. No, this is something I've actually announced already, but I want to remind everybody about this. It's possible that you haven't gotten the memo yet. I mentioned this on one show a few days ago and then on the community tab yesterday, but we're bringing back the game show. Are you smart or smarter? Are you geekier than the day ghost?
Smarter goes without saying. He's from Canada, but geekier.
Right, but he's got a lot of useless knowledge up in his noggin.
Yeah.
And we're going to test that noggin on the 11th, Friday night. I've already gotten a little bit of flack for doing that the same night that Black Panther opens. I wasn't really keeping track of the night that happens, so we might not have a big crowd that night. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough takers for the game show. If that happens, if not very many people or nobody ends up auditioning, just putting in a video to try to be on the show, submits to be there, we'll just put it on a different day. It was just the best weekend I had, or the best Friday I had. But I don't know. I don't mean to be selfish. I don't think about opening nights for things anymore, DJ, because the real opening day is Thursday. Let's be real. If we did a show if we went and saw the movie Friday night, did a show at 11 o'clock, half the people in the comments would have already seen it the night before. So I don't think about Fridays as opening nights. And the other thing is I don't go until the matinee on Saturday or Sunday usually. So I just wasn't thinking about that. But we might not have any takers. If you are available that night, though, consider joining us. It's 10 o'clock Central Time. That's 11 p.m. for a lot of our audience on the East Coast. So you might be able to do both. You might be able to see Black Panther and still pop in for the game show. If you would like to be on the game show, make a video of yourself 2 minutes just talking about. Look, I'll look at the comments in a minute. I'm trying to announce something.
I couldn't help it. That was really funny.
No, you're fine. 2 minutes or less. Tell me your name, your approximately where you are in the world. You don't have to be too specific, of course. And 3 geeky things about yourself so that I can have a sense of what your knowledge base is, and if it looks like you have a shot at being geekier than Austin. That's what we're doing, and send me an email with a link to your unlisted video on YouTube, and my email is in the About tab on Geekvolution. You can also link it, if you don't mind other people seeing it anyway, to the post that I already made about this on the community tab. That's the main thing that I wanted to mention tonight before we get started. Let me also say that Friday night, Dan is going to guest with us. We haven't seen him in a while, and we're going to be doing a really cool comic vault. And we haven't done comics much lately either, so I'm excited about this. DJ, we're going to be talking about What If comics. And Austin and I and Dan have each chosen 2 issues of What If, and we're all going to read each other's issues and have a conversation about the 6 of them. Dan picked a couple of Conan issues because he's really into Conan these days, and Austin and I picked some classic issues that we may or may not already be familiar with. I will try to post those issue numbers by tomorrow, if I can remember to do it, so that everybody's got a chance to go in and find those and read them if you want to talk about those with, or listen to us talk about those and already know the material. Friday night, 10 o'clock Central Time for that. If you want to make sure that your question, comment, concern, topic is discussed on the show this evening, you can leave a super chat in any dollar amount. That absolutely guarantees, without a shadow of a doubt, unless we screw up, that we will talk about whatever it is that you are interested in. If you can't do that, don't want to do that, we sure appreciate everybody that supports the channel in that way. It means so much, and it makes it possible for me to prioritize this. I'm not guilt-tripping anyone when I say this, but I've got 5 kids, and I'm driving people around everywhere, and it's insane that I'm doing 5 days of content, but I'm making it happen because there's still enough interest, and it means a lot. Thanks so much. Again, not guilt tripping. It means a lot that you're just here watching, and thanks for doing that. If you'd like to participate, besides doing that, you can also leave a regular question, and you can do that in the comments. Make sure that you tag DJ Martinez, because he's reading the questions. That's at DJ Martinez or at the welder. You might not know what that means, but we don't have time to explain it right now.
Can't catch you up. Too much.
We really can't do it right now. Or I don't remember what the other thing I said earlier. Oh, the provocateur.
Yeah, at the provocateur.
Right.
We'll definitely get your question right to the top of the list.
You know what? That was 12 minutes ago. I can't believe I remembered it. He'll answer to any of those things and more. I have this whole spiel just memorized at this point. You might think that I'm reading every time I do this. I've done it so many times now. There's like an order of it now. I could change it up, but somehow it's just in there. Anyway.
The provocateur and more sounds like a great memoir I could write.
DJ, so we're going to go ahead and get into the multi-topic extravaganza this evening. DJ, I have a question for you. Did you watch all of WandaVision? You did, right?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yes. Was there any part of you, when you finished that show, that said, I really need a follow-up to this starring White Vision?
First of all, White Vision sounds like a term that would be thrown around for inappropriate kind of use of power in Hollywood. Oh
no! I'm not touching that. That CEO guy, I don't know. The rumor is he's got White Vision.
No, I mean, I will say that was interesting. That was the most interesting part of the last episode was that whole Vision conversation. The rest of the episode was just kind of explosions and Harry Potter fight scenes, but so I wouldn't be opposed to watching it, but I wasn't like chomping at the bit for a whole series. They have a cool
intellectual conversation about identity while they're just floating up in the air about to attack each other. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm down. Hopefully it's cool, but I don't know how long it needs to be. Maybe can they just do like 4-episode miniseries? Like, can they do
films? That? They seem better at those, generally speaking. Even on Disney Plus, is it? What is with the, and I know that I'm the pot calling the kettle black with this, if you look at my career and track record with the content I make on the channel, but Disney Plus does one of two things. They either make long miniseries, 6 episodes is not long, I guess, but it feels like it a lot of the time. We talk about this all the time, and a lot of people agree with me, where it feels like you took a movie's worth of material of story and you stretch it out to 6, 8, 10, however many episodes it is. Or DJ, now they'll make 55-minute specials, but nothing in between. Why can't you just have a Disney Plus movie? They're making movies for all kinds of other things because they're not like HBO Max. I guess unlike Zaslav, they don't care as much about quality, so they'll make a movie that does not go to the theater. I didn't make a tab for this because I didn't feel the need to talk about this at length. But they're putting out A Christmas Story Christmas.
What?
Yeah, you remember we talked about A Christmas Story and how we don't care about A Christmas Story, and then
that's the title?
The title is A Christmas Story Christmas.
Wait, what?
You can't make this up!
What? At least call it like A Christmas Eve Story or something. Pick a different day.
And I haven't looked at the trailer because I don't care. But no, you can't make this up. It's a Christmas Story Christmas. Look, it's right here, DJ. This is what it's called.
What?
I know. I'm getting off the beaten path here. All I'm saying is they're making other movies for Disney Plus. Why can't they just make Marvel movies? Why couldn't this be a film? But anyway, so we're getting a Vision series starring Paul Bettany for Disney Plus. We don't know how many episodes yet. We don't know exactly. I don't think we don't know exactly what they're doing with it. But it's going to be called Vision Quest, which is the title of an Avengers arc from, I think, maybe the mid-late 80s. I forget. There is precedent for that title. And I don't know anything about that story, so I don't know how that's if that's going to inform it at all. I don't even know what that story is. But I did look that up because I was like, that sounds like a thing that might have been in comics. It in fact is. Well, the focus is on Vision. Word is there's a possibility for Wanda Maximoff to appear, which would make sense given how interconnected the two character stories are in the MCU. This is from Deadline. That's an obvious thing to say, Deadline. The new spinoff is being unofficially referred to by some as the White Vision Project, after the most recent on-screen version of the character. Introduced at the end of episode 8 of WandaVision, White Vision was created by Sword by rebuilding and reactivating Vision's body and sent on a mission to destroy Wanda and her conditional vision. So I assume this will be about whether or not that version of Vision still counts as Vision, and hopefully he is characterized in a really interesting and not identical sort of way. I really hope that we don't get 3 episodes in and he's no longer White Vision and he's just, he's recolored and is just Vision again. I'd hate it if that happened. It would be kind of weird if that whole story was there just to totally reset status quo at the end, because Wanda seems to have died and Vision seems to be gone, but there's a replacement Vision. So wouldn't it be weird if you got to the end of that and you were like, they're right back where they were before? I really hope the last shot of that is not them in a 50s TV show together. I really hope they don't do that.
I hope Sword makes a white robotic Wanda for him. That he
White
can be with
Wanda.
White
I can't stop
Wanda.
saying it like that. I think it's funny.
White Wanda.
So yeah, I continue to be kind of nonplussed by Disney Plus announcements. I'm not excited about this. I'm not repelled or appalled by it. I'll take a look at it. I liked WandaVision well enough. I did think it was a little bit weird that White Vision didn't feel the need to pop his head in at all in Multiverse of Madness, and I'm sure we'll get an explanation for where he's been and why he didn't see the end of the world shenanigans going on there with Wanda. But yeah, I'll take a look. I just kind of wish this was a smaller project, because these things, I'm a broken record, but they haven't tended to stick the landing. And I'm also starting to wonder, after, the kind of mixed reactions to vitriol going on with She-Hulk, just how much more interest there's going to be in Disney Plus material in general. I think for a long time, DJ, it's still going to be sort of a case-by-case thing, where if particular... because they're still going to have a lot of goodwill based on earlier projects and actors and characters that are still around from the earlier days of the MCU, right? So I would assume that anytime somebody from the first 11 years of the MCU shows up, there's going to be an audience for that, even if they've jumped ship for everything else. But I am worried about a cry wolf sort of situation where if enough of those things are also kind of mediocre to bad, stories aren't right, it feels like, and by right I just mean not interesting to people, that don't ring true, the characters seem out of character. You can't make, and I know some people like the show, but a lot of people didn't, you can't make too many Falcon and the Winter Soldiers. Like, those characters were beloved. Now there's a lot of folks that are kind of lukewarm on them. I think it's going to affect the box office. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, but I think it could affect the box office for Captain America 4. And if you had made a Captain America movie with Falcon, and you'd never made that show, more people might see it than I think are probably going to. So they need to be really careful. I think they need to back off their number of projects and really focus on, a couple a year instead of trying to shove out 5 to 7, which is what it feels like, what it seems like we're getting right now. But anyway, that was probably enough for leading topic itself.
They really need to go to the Zaslav move and think about quality over quantity. That's really what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah. Well, what they really should do is put James Gunn in charge of their television side, but unfortunately the other house has gotten in there. Speaking of that, this might not surprise anybody if you haven't heard about this already. Where is it? Sorry, I thought I had a tab for this. Oh, tell me I didn't forget to put this up. Okay, I will find this, and a lot of you guys will know about this already, but I want to make sure that I have a source.
He will find this.
I will find it. Kevin Feige, Zaslav had the audacity to try to get Kevin Feige.
I love Zaslav. That's amazing.
To leave Marvel. This is from startifacts.com. Now, this might be a rumor, because I've actually only seen this on weird websites that I've never heard of, or websites that where things are not always substantiated. So take this with a grain of salt. I would not be surprised if this was true, though. Warner Brothers offered Kevin Feige to jump ship before hiring James Gunn. This is so funny. This feels like an Onion article to me.
Yeah, why in the world would he do that? How you couldn't throw enough money at him.
Can you imagine this, okay? You open up a Burger King right next to a McDonald's, right? And you walk over to said McDonald's and you go, you guys have been doing gangbusters business.
And we've been just screwing the pooch over here at Burger King.
Yeah, but we decided to open one more. We're hoping you'll leave there and run it for us. That guy would laugh in your face. And I want to think, all I can imagine is that that's what Feige did. And he's been really gracious and diplomatic about the James Gunn move. He put out a tweet when James Gunn was hired as the head of DC now Studios. Not only do I love Kevin, he was the first person I told after I did the deal with DC. Contrary to popular belief, John Cena was the second. Okay. Contrary to popular belief, $1 less for Marvel is not $1 more for DC. I actually appreciate that he said that. DC and Marvel have the common goal of keeping the theater-going experience vibrant and alive. Yeah, because all anybody goes to see anymore is superhero movies, and that's good for your bottom line.
You're keeping it alive after killing it.
I wish what he had said was, we can only make each other more successful. Why'd you have to make it about keeping movie theaters alive? But whatever. This part of the sentiment is the same. I do appreciate that I guess I'm talking about this now. I do appreciate that he's saying, we don't, like, they are in competition, but this is, the gracious kind of move. And it's what I've always said about DC versus Marvel. Most people are fans of superheroes in general, and even if they like one over the other, overall, most people are not, like mega fans, speaking ill of the other side, unless they, currently suck, but they're not like, I love this thing, and so I have to hate this other thing. It's not usually team sports. It winds up that way with some people, I guess, but I think that's a minority. And so I like that he kind of said that. But I think it's just hilarious that Zaslav went to the competition and was like, hey, would you... I wonder what kind of money he offered him, or if it even went that far. If that actually happened. Because it might not be true. But anyway, I just want to bring that up because I think it's really funny.
I'm just imagining the scene of J. Jonah Jameson. I can't even remember which one it's in, if it's in Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3, where he just, like, uncontrollably laughs, and he's like, you serious?
Yeah, he just starts spinning around in his chair.
Oh, I think he asks him for an advance. I think Peter asks him for his money in advance, and he just, like, laughs in his face.
DJ, we're at a place now where the world, especially of geekdom and pop culture, but just the world at large, has jumped the shark. Nothing surprises me anymore.
The world is an Onion article.
I'm surprised that... I don't even know how to put it. Like, I saw that and I was like, surely not, and then I remembered what year it was. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Me from 8 years ago was surprised by this. Like, not anymore. Anything is possible now. This is hilarious.
When every day is April Fool's Day, no day.
Okay, DJ, are you ready for another exciting edition of Cap's Rants?
I'm always psyched for these. Can't wait. What do we got now?
Comicbookmovie.com. The DC Extended Universe is no more. Now, I want to be excited about that, but it continues. Warner Brothers Discovery finally gives it an official name. Following the news that James Gunn will head up the newly minted DC Studios. I'm having a hard time not still calling it DC Films. Oh, and you did a thumbnail for us last week that still said DC Films, and I wish somehow I'd been able to give you the memo ahead of time. They're not called that anymore.
Yeah, I just Googled the whole James Gunn thing, and that logo kept coming up, so I just used it. I didn't even
I'll just
know.
put it in there.
I didn't even know that was a thing before that.
If you'd known that, you could have put like a circle and a slash through it, you know?
Yeah, I totally would have.
It's been confirmed, and like arrows pointing to it, like on all sides. It's been confirmed that the DC Extended Universe is dead and gone. Now it has a new name, and you can find that right here. Again, there's no confirmation that what we've had before is completely dead and gone. We're going to continue to have baggage. You can be sure of that, because Peacemaker and The Suicide Squad and all the other movies that are coming out right now, or that are about to come out, including Black Adam, which we just had, Shazam 2, Aquaman 2, are all building on things that came before. Even if we're soft rebooting still, kind of, sort of, we're stuck with actors, we're stuck with some plot points. Any way you slice it, it's not dead and gone. It's evolving forcefully, but it's not dead and gone. So stop it, comicbookmovie.com. Now, do you have any guesses? Do you have any guesses of what they're... And remember, DCEU was apparently, and I still don't believe this, but according to Warner Brothers, that was not their idea. They didn't come up with that. That was the internet. DC Extended Universe.
A publication.
Yeah, somebody...
It's basically like superhero movies where they don't get to pick their superhero names. They're chosen for them by the media.
Yeah, and always, these days, somebody... probably in a Reddit forum or in a Twitter post or on YouTube called it that, and everybody jumped onto that, according to them. It sure didn't feel that way, but I guess that's what happened. I'll take their word for it, I guess. We've all been, and up till now, I'm still saying DCEU. They're saying we don't want, and remember, they've commented on this before. That wasn't us. Don't call it the DC Extended Universe. I mean, why not? Like, it's not a great name, but like, who cares? Like what? What? Do you have a guess at the official name now?
I mean, just steal Marvel. Just call it the DCCU. That rolls right off the tongue.
That's the thing, is that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
Is it still a U? Is it just another letter, or what are you saying? What are you saying here?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I think so. You're scaring me.
In the wake of the news that the Suicide Squad director James Gunn and DC Films producer Peter Safran will take charge of DC Studios for at least the next 4 years, it's been confirmed that this shared world will now be called the DCU. DC Universe. The DCU. We already have one of those. It's in comics. It's the DCU. This will not catch on, because communication doesn't work this way. We're all going to be friggin' confused. I can't go around saying the DCU immediately. This is nothing against my audience, and I'm not calling out anybody in particular, but I've got folks here that can't deal with it when I say 52 and I don't put a new in front of it. Do you think I can get away with saying DCU and be sure that anyone knows what the hell I'm talking about? I will continue saying DCEU for the sake of communication, because we all know what that means. That's the stupidest thing I've ever read. We already had a DC universe. Like, you have to have something that singles it out and makes it clear that you're talking about the movies. And the extended thing did that, because at least it was an extra letter. You have the DCAU, that's the DC animated universe. You have the DC universe, which is comics, which is the standard DC universe. It almost sounds pretentious of them in a way, because it's like, oh well, it's this is the definitive DC universe. You guys haven't even gotten Superman right yet, and no, not even in the after credit scene in Black Adam.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry for the spoilers with that, but I mean, like, I don't know one person that didn't know that before the movie came out.
I haven't seen Black Adam, Cap.
But you're not gonna go see Black Adam. We all know it.
I'm not. I'm sorry. Sorry, Black Adam fans. Although Black Adam fans are probably not on the front lines of that movie.
Any more than, yeah. No one's created a bunch of new ones, D-Shang. Yeah, you're not going to that any more than you're going to Dwayne Johnson's other DC movie this year that ended with an after-credit scene that teased Superman and Black Adam fighting. DC Super Pets.
Oh gosh, wow, yeah, I completely wiped that from my mind. I forgot that existed.
Yeah, well, it's already streaming on HBO Max if you want to get a subscription to that again and go watch it. Am I alone on this? This is really silly. That's not going to catch on. Nobody's going to call it that.
I don't know. It simplifies things for me because I never talk about comics, so I would much rather have one less letter to say. But for people who are in that world that talk about comics, yeah, it's probably going to be confusing.
But I'm just saying, like, even if you don't read comics, if you start saying DCU, people aren't going to know for sure what you're talking about. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to catch on. I'll be shocked if it does. And I'll be the outlier that refuses to say that because we already had that. It just doesn't make any sense. It's got to be something. Maybe I'm alone. Maybe everybody thinks that this is fine, but I think that's really goofy. Okay, well, anyway, this guy keeps getting work in every genre thing you can think of. Aquaman star, I'm going to mess this up. Yaha Abdul Martin II, set to play Wonder Man in Marvel Studios' Disney Plus series. We got another Disney Plus series announcement. Apparently, what's weird is, this is comicbookmovie.com. This article puts in the title, Disney Plus series, and then in the article says, we can't confirm if this is a Disney Plus series or a movie. So I'm not really sure.
Then don't put it in the title of your article, you dingus.
Not really sure why they said that, but yeah. If you'll recall, Wonder Man... okay, so this guy, obviously, in Aquaman and Watchmen, he was... And DJ, you saw him in that, because you and I reviewed Watchmen together. He was Dr. Manhattan there, right? Is that guy?
Oh, yeah. He's great, yeah.
And then,
I mean, he's great in that. He's a hilarious cartoon character in Aquaman.
Yeah, and then is he... Because Austin told me this, and I didn't realize they were the same actors, so tell me if I'm wrong about this. I'm just remembering this from a conversation I had with Austin. But that's also the same guy, I think, who plays the... other Morpheus in Matrix 4. So like, he's getting a lot of these roles.
Wow, he's about to catch up to Chris Evans.
Anyway, so if you'll recall, we almost had a poster with Wonder Man in Guardians 2 that was cut out, and it was going to be Nathan Fillion, and people got excited about it. It was, oh yay, Nathan Fillion is going to be a Wonder Man, and now they've race switched it, and they made it this guy, and I think he could really hold his own and carry a show potentially. I don't know how excited people are going to be for a Wonder Man show, but then if you're going to make Riri Williams and give her own show, you might as well do this, because this is at least a character someone has cared about at some point in history.
Yeah, Wonder Man's cool. I hope they give him like the purple, bluish, glowy skin. That'd be cool.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah. Do you want him to have the crazy eyes where he's got no pupils?
Oh, of course. I want every comic book character to have no pupils.
To have that just all the time.
That's really cool. No, hopefully he gets huge, bulked up, and looks good in the role.
Connor says they meant DCU.
Yeah, I saw that.
You remember that? we had a period where DC Comics was branding themselves that way, and it was really funny. I'm just gonna read this real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna get your super chats out of order, but Josh just put in a $5 super chat. Thanks, Josh. Well, you can't call it DCFU, DC Film Universe, because of the FU.
Thank you for clarifying,
Thanks,
Josh. The second part, in case we're idiots. We do have trouble deciphering super chats sometimes.
Oh, no,
so
that's
fair.
No, that's a really good point, yeah. I can see people getting really self-conscious with us in their super chats, where it's like, how can I make absolutely certain that Cap doesn't go on for a 10-minute rant about something that's not even close to what I'm talking about?
Getting back to Wonder Man, as long as we don't have to sit through like a 10-minute scene where he's like, wait, they're calling me Wonder Man? That's stupid. And, well, you got to go with it. You're stuck with it for some reason.
Yeah, and I hope they don't do some sort of fourth wall breaking joke about Wonder Woman.
Oh, that too, yeah. Just don't even mention it. Can we just go back to the early 2000s where they were never called their names? I'm fine with that at this point. That was better. I mean, I didn't like it at the time, but it's better than having to get some crappy jokey scene about it for 10 minutes.
I take it at this point. Yeah, there was some movie that I used to complain about that a lot, and I can't remember what it was in the mid-2000s, where you have the whole movie that the superhero is never called his name, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, that was the trend at that point. It's like, well, we'll call the movie that, but we don't need to say it in the movie. It's too silly. Now we say it, but we have to make jokes about it and talk about how stupid it is. It's like, just, ugh.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that.
We'll still occasionally do that. I can't remember if Venom was ever called Venom. Does he finally say it at the end of the movie? I can't remember now.
I don't think
Uh,
so. He does in the '90s show, and it's hilarious. He's like, "We are poison to you. We are venom." It's so
well,
silly
well, he says it in the trailer.
in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, for the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they get it in Morbius of all things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he tries to make a joke out of it like it's funny or something. Where Morbius is like, "I am Venom," and they put that in the trailers where he's
Oh my
he's
gosh.
joking like, I don't even know how public knowledge Venom is in that universe, but okay, but they don't care about that. Okay, well, moving right along. The Penguin sets Kristen Milioti as female lead Sophia Falcone. Falcone in the Batman. Falcone has become that Rish Raza Ghul thing. It is Falcone now. Made for Love star. I don't know what that is. Kristen Milioti is returning to HBO Max as the female lead opposite Colin Farrell in the DC original limited drama series The Penguin, working title. I bet they don't call it that. I bet it'll be called something else. A spinoff of Matt Reeves' The Batman. She was in
Cool.
something I've seen. I can't remember what. Can you look up her credits real quick?
Yeah. She's in Wolf of Wall Street. Is that what you're thinking of?
Maybe.
She's in that really good
mentioned
Palm Springs movie from 2020. That's like a Groundhog's Day thing.
Austin mentioned that she shows up at the end of some comic book thing. What was it? I can't remember. I'm gonna go look at our conversation because I forget. And it was like right at the end or something.
It might be a TV show because I've got her letterbox pulled up and she's only in like a few films, so it might be a
Okay, yeah.
show.
Sorry, give me a second and I'll
But yeah,
find
she
it.
was in that 2020 movie Palm Springs. That was
Never
Andy
seen that.
Samberg movie. It's a really good Groundhog Day idea,
Oh,
and
really?
I'll spoil it a little bit just to get people to watch it. But he's able to pull someone else into it with him, and she's the one he pulls in. It's really cool. It's interesting.
Austin and I talked too much. It took too long to find this.
Yeah, Palm Springs, good movie, Danvers. I agree. I agree. I was pleasantly surprised by it. It was a straight to Hulu thing, but it's really good.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Somebody in the comments, I'm sure, will remind us. But oh wait, no, it's not a comic book thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, the only thing I thought I knew her from, but I forgot about Wolf of Wall Street was How I Met Your Mother. She's in that.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen that show.
But yeah, so some people are complaining that they didn't cast someone who looks more like the character in Long Halloween, because she's a big bone character. She's like a 250, 300 pound woman, and I think and so people are kind of upset that they didn't go with that body type. But they're really reinventing these characters. Like I mean, we'll just have to see, what kind of story they're telling and what their take is on that character. Like I have a hard time jumping on, and I mean, I don't want to make a controversy out of everything or jump on the controversy train. I don't think this really is all that controversial. I mean, like they went against, traditional type for several characters already with the Batman. But I don't think it's a, well, we don't want to put like a large woman in a TV show. I mean, like it's probably going to be a kind of antagonistic character to some degree anyway, so I doubt if it's that, but like I don't know. I don't really have any immediate response to that. I think that's from what I'm remembering, that seems like it's a good actress. It seems like a decent enough choice. She looks Italian enough, so there's that. But anyway, so that's a casting thing that came up recently, and
Cool.
I just want to mention this real quick because I think
She's a
it's
good actress.
irritating. This comes from Variety. Morgan Freeman in advance talks to star in Lucy spinoff series with Europa Corp Village Roadshow producer.
There it is. Someone asked in the chat, why is Morgan Freeman in the thumbnail?
Well, Morgan Freeman is in the thumbnail because he's going to be potentially in a spin-off series to a science fiction movie that I don't think did all that well in the box office, that I loathed. I hated that movie. I don't even remember that much about it. I just remembered walking out going, this was an okay idea that was executed horribly. And I don't know why they're bothering to make more material from that. Like, are we that completely, I know this is what everybody always goes to, but like are we that creatively bankrupt? Are we that out of ideas? Are there no, pilot scripts lying around that, have a good chance of being made? Are we that obsessed with brand recognition that we think that even a thing like this that nobody remembers, that didn't do all that well? I'm gonna look up the box office. But I don't think that was a big success.
It made $463 million.
Did it really? Okay, but it's also a little late.
Yeah, that's actually surprising. I was not expecting it to make that much.
I didn't think.
I saw the commercial. I saw the trailer, and I was like, "Oh, it's just like Limitless with Black Widow." I don't need to see that.
I didn't like her in it. I thought the dialogue was kind of bad. I remember the whole premise kind of falling apart. Like, it was just it logically came apart at the seams. But yeah, so I guess they're making that. I could see maybe taking that concept. We do this a lot with TV shows from movies now, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I could see them rebooting it with a totally different cast, but like bringing back Morgan Freeman and doing a sequel to it on TV is weird.
Yeah, and I will say, I did write movie news in the thumbnail. I know that some of the news was about TV series, but they were all related to at least a movie, and I couldn't fit that many words in the thumbnail, so give me some slack. This is related to a movie, and Penguin came from the Batman, so they're all related to movies. So movie news still applies. If people are giving me crap
about that, I think next time we do multi-topic extravaganza, you should just put a bunch of things in the thumbnail. Maybe even intentionally some stuff that we will not be talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm going to prank you guys.
Then in huge block letters, it just says, stuff. No one can argue with stuff. We'll be discussing stuff.
We will be discussing stuff.
Absolutely. Daniver says Lucy was a hit. Yeah, I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, it only made 120 something here, but it made 460 worldwide, so it was a bigger international hit.
I know. Okay, that's often the answer, the reason with that, because DJ, I know exactly one person that saw that movie, and it was Brandon, and he went with me.
Yeah, 126 domestic, and then 458 total worldwide.
I don't know anybody also who said anything about that since it came out. Nobody talks about that movie. I'm just having flashbacks to that, being bored and shaking my head a lot. That's what I remember from that experience.
If you're going to watch a movie about an kind of scientifically enhanced super spy female, that the title is just her name, watch Hannah. Don't watch Lucy. Hannah is great.
I never saw that, yeah.
I love that movie. One of my favorite action movies. And I don't like a lot of action movies, but I really like that. All right,
if you're going to watch also say this, if you want to watch a science fiction movie with a lot of social commentary, starring what's her face? You just said it.
I don't know her name either. I just call her Black Widow.
The Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Watch her. Yes, she's just a voice, but she's excellent in that.
I'll have to watch that. I've never seen her in anything I liked her in. Yeah. Shall we get to Super
I always
Chats?
get thrown off with Scarlett Johansson now because I always want to call her Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, it's confusing.
It's weird because Scarlet Witch is in the
problems.
MCU. And then Scarlett Johansson plays not that character, but another female superhero in the MCU. And I have also caught myself accidentally calling Black Widow Scarlet Witch because of the fact that a woman with the first name of Scarlet plays her.
That's true. That's true.
Mutale says it was technically an original film that was successful, not an adaptation, reboot, or remake. Okay, cool. That's great. I didn't think it was very good. And then now we've got to latch on to that and try to turn it into a franchise, is the point I'm making. Alex Barron, Her is a brilliant movie, one of the best of the 2010s. I think so too. I've only seen it once. I need to go back to it. All right. Those were the main things I wanted to bring up. I've got a couple things here and there also brought up here. We'll see if anybody mentions them. But let's go ahead, DJ. We're already 45 minutes in the show somehow. Let's go ahead and start getting to Super Chats. I see several. And pre-writtens if you want to get to those after a couple of Super Chats. Go right ahead, sir.
Oh, yeah. I did see Marriage Story, Mutale. That's right. Yeah, she was all right in that. Let's see. The first Super Chat was from Mutale. There, speaking of the devil. On Sunday...
Mutale's not the devil. Stop it. He's supporting the channel. Don't say that.
On Sunday, he's just a rascally little devil, that Mutale. On Sunday was the 10th anniversary of Disney buying Lucasfilm.
Sunday.
And have you seen season 4 of Cobra Kai and Castlevania?
I'm gonna say something really weird here, or might seem weird to people. It feels like it's been longer than 10 years.
10 years. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, but for a lot of things, I'm like, where did all the time go? I've I guess I've just like rewired my brain to where I'm so used to DC and Marvel both having major parent companies and major competing parent companies that I'm struggling to remember a world before that. You know, when Marvel was its own entity and wasn't owned by Disney.
Oh, he said Lucasfilm.
Oh, Lucasfilm. I'm sorry. I thought he said Marvel. Yeah, because I'm like, no, Marvel
No,
has to be
Marvel.
longer than that, right?
Yeah, Marvel was before.
Okay, no, the
100
Lucasfilm
years.
thing, maybe that is kind of weird that that's been 10 years. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was trying to
that
process
seems
all
crazy.
of the things in the question.
Yeah, that seems crazy. That's already 10 years from Lucasfilm.
That is kind
But
of crazy.
on the other hand, it's amazing how much stuff they put out in that just 10 years.
I was going to say, look at how much amazing quality Star Wars material we've gotten.
I didn't say quality. I just said a lot.
No, I do. I can have my own
Three,
non-BS opinion.
a trilogy, and then two
I can have
seasons
my own
of
sense of
show.
sarcasm. It's my show.
What is it? It's a trilogy. It's Rogue One. It's 2 seasons of Mandalorian. It's a season of Boba Fett. It's a season of Andor.
Yeah. It's it's 2 original cartoon shows. It's bringing back Clone
Jeez.
Wars. It's a it's 1 season so far of a vignette anime show. Yeah.
Gosh, they've passed double digits already in 10
Yeah.
years. So, jeez.
And it's not like they put one of those out a year.
Nope. Wow. Thanks. Thanks for making us feel old and sad, Mutali.
Again, the opinions of my chat moderator do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the man whose name is the title. What was the second part of his question?
Have you seen season 4 of Cobra Kai and Castlevania?
Oh, I'm sorry, Busted Sim. It's not just 2 cartoon shows, because I forgot about Bad Batch. Yeah, Rebels, Bad Batch, and then there was that short-lived 2-season post Last Jedi thing. I don't know if it was post Last Jedi or if it was just after Force Awakens, but it's set in that era. I forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Ask me that one more time.
Have you seen season 4 of Cobra Kai and Castlevania?
I've seen season 4 of Cobra Kai. I haven't seen 5 yet. Because 5 just dropped, and Jason and I keep meaning to watch that, but we haven't. I'm not going to keep reviewing that show, probably, just because we did, I want to say we did 3, and we didn't bother with 4, and there wasn't a lot of interest in that video, and it's been a while, and I'm rusty, and I don't remember a lot from some of the earlier seasons now, so I don't know how articulate I'll be talking about that show. But anyway, yeah, we are planning on watching it. I don't know if I'll cover it. And then the second show was
Castlevania.
Yeah, no, I keep forgetting about that. I got to go back and look at that. No, I know those are some things that I have covered before. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to go back and continue with them in videos, but I'll finish watching them at some point.
Connor says, "Don't forget about Solo and Obi-Wan." We did forget about Solo and Obi-Wan. That's even more.
Somehow I forgot about Obi-Wan. Yeah, I thought you said Solo. I guess I missed that.
Wow.
Connor, they're so memorable.
Oh, right. Connor Nielsen.
I didn't review
Wow.
Obi-Wan for that very reason. I got through with that show and I was like, none of this is really seeping in my brain already. And like, I'm not really remembering. I could have done a quick sign flip thing, but it would have really been a quick sign flip thing. It wouldn't have been worth doing a live show over. I would have gotten into camera for 10 minutes and been like, I mean, I never do this. I probably wouldn't have. But what I feel like I would have done is I would have sat down and been like, I mean, that was inoffensive. I didn't hate it. I don't know. Like, if I really thought about it, it doesn't totally work. There's still prequelitis and stuff, but that's par for the course, I guess. If he's going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and he's going to be younger than Guinness, I guess he's really close to Guinness's age now, but you know what I mean. He's going to keep playing him before that stuff. Then we're just going to keep going with this. Doesn't really line up with what we had before, but whatever. We got to contrive some way to get him in there. So but yeah. It was. I don't know. I don't like the young Leia thing, really, like having them meet. but it was, and I didn't think that actress was great, but it was okay. There was some fun to be had with it. It was really slow in the first couple episodes, and then it picks up in the middle. Once you realize that the main Inquisitor antagonist has a personal reason, and it's kind of a revenge thing with her motivations, it's a little better. There's still some kind of convenient and contrived nonsense with it, and it's probably longer than it has to be. But I don't know. It wasn't a great watch, but I didn't hate it. McGregor got buried too much in the early episodes. That was the thing I didn't like about it. Can we make singular protagonist pieces that are actually about the singular protagonist, please?
No, everything must be Wolvie and Pals 4, How This Mess Began.
Oh, please don't let that die. All right.
You and I have kept this Amazon review alive for how many years now? 10 years?
Yeah. That guy deserves a medal for the title of his X-Men Origins review on Amazon. Wolvie and Pals 4, How This Mess Began.
All right. Speaking of Connor, beautiful segue because he gave us the next super chat.
Real quick, no, I've not seen Andor yet. Just because
you
think Andor is slow, I've not watched that show yet. Doesn't mean I can't have that opinion that I thought Obi-Wan was. He says Obi-Wan was slow. Have you seen episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 4, and 5 of Andor? Yeah, but it might be. My hope is that I'll watch that and I'll think that it's deliberately paced and it earns the slower pacing. I just didn't think that we stuck enough with our protagonist with the first couple episodes of Obi-Wan, and that's why I found it slow.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things of Andor, about Andor.
I mean, some people, I will say, because this is not me, putting a show on a pedestal I've not seen. I have heard people say it's a little slow going, you might be bored with it, just stick around because it's worth it. I've heard that, and I'm leery of that, but I've not started yet, so.
Yeah. My good friend who's a huge Star Wars fan and hasn't really liked anything that Disney's done, really likes Andor, so I don't know if I care, but he's trying to get me into it. Connor Nielsen leaves a $19.99 super chat.
Goodness, thank you, Connor. What's up, man?
Wow, thank you so much, sir. You could just text me. Any artists you find yourself returning to despite not liking their art? I find Rob Zombie's films to be kind of interesting despite only liking one. I don't like watching them, but I like talking about them. So this is fresh on his mind because I think he watched 5 Rob Zombie films this month.
Yeah, that's
even
crazy.
Though he doesn't like them.
Are you okay? Yeah, he's still stringing complete sentences together.
Yeah, he sounds like he's doing all right, even after watching El Super Bisto.
Yeah. So what was the start of that question?
Any artists that you find yourself returning to despite not liking their art.
So not just in my head I filled in comic artists because I thought that's where he was going to go with that. So that's why I asked you to repeat the beginning of that. So artists you keep going to despite not really liking their stuff that much, is that essentially?
Yeah, and then he gave an example of a director.
Yeah,
Rob Zombie.
Boy, I'm trying to come up with a really good answer because I know I've definitely had that phenomenon. The obvious go-to is Tim Burton. Not that I see everything he makes, but occasionally, just out of morbid curiosity, I'll see. I want to say I'll see one of his newer films. It's been a long time since I've done that, but I used to occasionally check back in, and then I'd be like, "Yeah, nope, he lost the magic sometime in the 2000s for me." But
yeah, what a dramatic change he went through.
Right.
I watched that. Not Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. What Miss Peregrine's Home for Gifted Children, or whatever, whatever it's called. God, that was terrible. It felt
somebody
like a
described
TV
it to me as
movie.
fantasy X-Men.
Yeah, but it was just like a TV movie. I'm like, how? It's like a TV kids movie on Nickelodeon or something. How did a real director direct this? It was weird.
John Ty says Greg Land for comic book art. Yeah, but do you go back because Greg Land is interesting, or because he begrudgingly you have to look at his art if you want to read the writer you want to read? That's the only reason I've gone to Greg Land. I've never been like, oh, Greg Land. That looks interesting. It's always been like, oh well, he's drawing it. I mean, again, I've never found his stuff like offensively difficult to look at. Some people find it offensive because of some of the things that he allegedly traces over, but I find him just kind of a mediocre artist. And yeah, you can kind of tell when he's tracing facial expressions and stuff. Boy, I'm trying to come up with a better answer for that. I mean, McFarlane's definitely one of those, or used to be, obvious, and you know that, Connor. But like, sorry, I know it's a $20 super chat, and I'm just telling you something you know already. But like, I had this for a long time with McFarlane. Like, I kept collecting and reading Spawn well after Spawn year, and then quit doing that ultimately, and still would occasionally check in when he'd do something that random that wasn't Spawn. Well, I'm saying that I can't think. Maybe not. Maybe just other random Spawn things. I'm trying to think of anything, because I guess most of the stuff that I've looked at that he's drawn that wasn't Spawn is decades old at this point. But I think I've had this with bands. I've had this more, I guess. I'm trying to come up with something as interesting as you just did with Rob Zombie, because I've had this more with groups or artists that used to be really good and that kind of fell off at some point. And I guess I had that with Tim Burton too. I'm having a hard time not thinking of those things. But you're talking more like somebody that you've never really gelled with, but you can't stop looking at because it's interesting even if it's not your thing. And that I'm having a hard time coming up with.
Something like BVS where it's just fascinating, but you don't like it. But you don't watch all of Zack Snyder's stuff.
No, but I've seen most of it at this point.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, I did look at the zombie movie out of morbid curiosity.
That's true. That's a good example. And you have a chance to put your money where your mouth is, because Tim Burton is releasing Wednesday on November 23rd, which is an Addams Family spin-off.
No, we've talked about it a little bit on the show, and I saw the trailer, and it looks good. I'm actually interested in looking at that. And the original, I can't say original, but the Wednesday from the 90s movies, that actress is in that show and got a significant recurring role, I think. No, I'm actually curious about that and interested in looking at it. Tim Burton should be in TV at this point, I think. I just feel like his sensibilities are maybe right for some of these longer form things. I don't know why I'm saying that. I just feel like he might be able to stretch his legs and turn out a better product that way.
Mm-hmm. Daniverse says, current Zemeckis is this to me, which is a great example.
But that's another thing where it's like, Zemeckis was great at one time. Like, I don't think Connor's talking about, with Rob Zombie, somebody who made movies that he loved at one point and fell off and got weird, but he's still looking at it. I mean, like, it just seems like a different thing. I'm having a hard time coming up with exactly that thing. I want to say I have it a little bit with Kubrick, because I'm not a big Kubrick guy, but like, his stuff is undeniably original and he's a great artist. I just don't love Kubrick. But I do have, maybe that's my answer, and that's maybe a weird answer for a lot of people because he's so beloved, but like, there's still some major Kubrick stuff I've never seen that I haven't seen in a long time, like 2001, that I will probably sit down and look at, even though the lack of story-driven material might kind of irritate me, where it's a lot more about creating a feeling and a state of being and all of that. But like, I really like The Shining, but I really don't love The Shining. You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of me that really appreciates that movie, and there's another part of me that wants it to be to be more of a straightforward narrative like the book is. And but I'm really interested in it. Like, I can't say that that's a favorite movie or anything. I guess that's my answer right now.
Cool.
Sorry, it took me a while to get there.
All right. Next super chat is from Mr. Cool 210.
Hey, it's been a while, Ben. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Ben. It's cool that you're bringing back the game show, but I'll miss Who Reviews the Reviewers. Still such a fun experience.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, and he was a contestant on that show. Yeah, I miss it some also. That ship has kind of sailed at this point, I think. We tried to bring it back a few years ago in a different format, and admittedly, it wasn't the right way to go. I was just trying to make it easier for more people to get involved with it and to make it less of a commitment. The tough thing with Who Reviews the Reviewers was we played that as much like a straight up competitive reality show as possible, short of flying people out to my house and forcing them to live here. And
hey, that'd be pretty cool. Now that you got a bunker, you could totally do that.
We just put up partitions everywhere. We don't have rooms. You just gotta live in between these cardboard boxes.
That's part of it, man. It's a psychological game. They all have to shower together and brush their teeth in the same room.
Yeah, and then just to make things more dramatic and interesting, we have like booze everywhere. Because I don't know if you know that, a lot of those shows do that, man.
It sounds like a winner.
They have alcohol everywhere.
Yeah, you got to make people make dumb decisions on live television that they'll regret for the rest of their life.
Yeah, exactly. Short of any of that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did give people a bar tab trying to encourage them to go drink before they made reviews. No, I'm kidding. We didn't do that. But what we would do is we would kind of lock people into. I mean, they could quit if we wanted to. We had, I think, in the whole 4-year run, we had one guy leave in the middle of the show, which is amazing that not more people ended up doing that. And no offense to him, he was too busy and ultimately had to jump out. But we had, I think, I don't remember exactly what the situation was, but we had people.
I think that was Sam. I remember.
Yeah, we had people kind of locked into a commitment. Where we really, expected them to stick around until they got dropped out of the show, and sometimes it would be weeks between episodes because it was hard to get everything coordinated. Because this was a labor of love. Nobody was being paid for this thing. We had a 5-man panel. Everybody had to be there for 2 to 3 hour deliberations for the contest, and then we had to make sure that all the contestants could have their schedules set up in such a way where they could get things in on time, and sometimes people would be late and we'd have to wait for them. So those seasons lasted 9 months a lot of the time. I don't know if we were ever faster than that. And they weren't supposed to be. They were supposed to be originally the idea, because I was naive, was and it was too ambitious, was 6-8 weeks. Like every week we do a thing and then we get together. No, it wasn't going to work out that way. It was like 9 months, and somehow we did it 4 times. And it's been years since we did another one. We did 1 episode for a season 5. It didn't work out. It was really nice of Aaron Dicer to come back to be a judge, and we had some cool reviews for that. But the way we tried to do it and bringing it back was, let's have each time we'll have a different set of people come in. I can't remember what exactly the setup was. If you could do multiple weeks, or if somebody won a week, they kept going. I don't remember what the whole deal was. But you weren't locked into that kind of commitment like before. And if we ever did it again, I would want to do it in the original format. But also, reviewing doesn't feel like it's as prevalent on YouTube as it used to be. It seems like it's a lot more these days about the video essay and just, I want to say, like, live streaming, conversations in video games and stuff. And I mean, there's lots of channels, like live streaming still isn't as big here as it is on Twitch, but there's a lot of people doing that, and there's still certainly movie reviewers and stuff, but I don't think, at least a lot of the folks that are watching us now necessarily still have that ambition to try to start a review channel if they're trying to do a YouTube channel. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but a lot of the folks that are with us now have grown up with us and have their own lives and have better things to do and are in the middle of other things. So I don't know that we would even get the same kind of response. Like, we used to get 20 to 30 or more auditions for that show, and I don't know that we'd get that many now. Even if we did it in the original format, and it's so oversaturated now, I think it's a lot harder to get your foot in the door.
You need to do a winner's season where everyone can come back. Bring Connor back, Aaron Dicer back, Lance back. Everyone comes back, just like Survivor does. That'd be great.
Yeah, but then we'll be accused of nostalgia bait. All right, let's keep going.
All right, I'm going to jump to a pre-written really quickly because I want to. Jareth Gearhart.
That's a good reason.
Hey, Cap.
Hi.
With James Gunn's new position at DC Films, do you think we could see a crossover with his characters from Peacemaker and Guardians, or a bigger DC/Marvel crossover?
Okay, so most people, I think, are going to hear that and maybe roll their eyes or just go, no, obviously that is wishful thinking, if that's even a thing that you want, or it's, pie in the sky kind of thinking. If the executives at those companies weren't weren't in the room and those guys could make that decision, I think so. I do. I think if you got Feige, because I don't think Feige is just blowing smoke when he writes that tweet about Gunn. I think those guys get along. How could they not? Look at how much money Guardians has made to them. It clearly wasn't Feige's idea to get Gunn fired, right? I think those guys probably really get along, have a good working relationship. They're geeks and nerds. They would probably love to see an amalgam kind of thing happen, and they know the insane amount of money something like that would make. You think No Way Home was huge. Wait till you get Amalgam. Wait till you get DC versus Marvel, right? Like, no, they would love that. Would Disney and Warner Brothers ever play ball together like that? I don't see that happening. But that's the only reason. If it were up to those two guys, I think so. And I think inside of 3 years. But I don't think it's going to happen because of the executives involved.
All right, jumping back to super chats, we have another one from Utale.
Hi.
If Batman asked Jason to be his Robin, would you say yes? Also, there are rumors Mephisto and Silver Surfer will get a Disney Plus specials.
So my answer to that first question is go read Frank Miller's All-Star Batman and Robin, because that would be the nightmare that I would have. Is that you get a crazy Batman that made my kid live in his cave and eat rats? No, of course not. Are you insane? Like, of course. No. We live in the real world, not in a comic world where, because his name is in the title, he's probably not going to get hurt unless the fans don't like him and vote for him to die. Oh, also, the best... You know what? I wish I just led with this. No, obviously I would be very scared for my kid to go out and punch criminals with his fist. The best answer, actually, is my son's name is Jason, so of course he shouldn't be a Robin. That'd be a mistake. That's a fun question, though. Thanks. What was the other question?
Also, there are rumors Mephisto and Silver Surfer will get Disney Plus shows, or Disney Plus specials. Excuse me.
I feel like I could do a live show right now about I would have to look them up, but the top 10 Mephisto rumors, and we could probably get to like 20 or 30. All we hear about is Mephisto rumors.
Who cares about Mephisto?
Yeah, the Mephisto. And wouldn't it be weird if Mephisto got his own Disney Plus show before he is... No, it wouldn't. Not at this point. Not at this point.
Weird.
Black Adam
I
just
definitely
got a movie.
don't want... I don't want Silver Surfer to get a 45-minute special, though. I want him to get a full movie or a show or something.
Black Adam got his own movie, and that actor, Dwayne Johnson, does not even care about his arch nemesis. What was the other one that he mentioned?
Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer. I don't want that. I love Silver Surfer. He needs to be on the big screen. That's way too cinematic. And also, you saw because you said Disney Plus show, right? Like
Disney Plus special.
Yeah, even just a special, that's not going to look good on TV. Sorry. Like you saw the She-Hulk CG. Like, that would be unfortunate. No, I don't want that. And it would be kind of sad if... Also, I would be afraid if they relegated it to a special that he wouldn't show up in anything else. Or like... It would be really weird they're doing Fantastic Four movies if they never got to Silver Surfer. But right now it feels like if they do... Well, it's premature to say this. I was going to say it feels like if they do a special, it means here's a thing they don't really have big plans for, so they'll just, throw it off as like a smaller thing. Obviously, Guardians is getting that Christmas special, but that's kind of a horse of a different color, because it's like, here's a thing Gunn wanted to do, and, they're gonna let him do whatever he wants to do at this point. But I digress. So, no, I would just be worried about the special effects. Would be the main thing.
Mr. Cool, another $5. I wonder what are your thoughts on Doctor Who going to Disney Plus and possibly being a co-production with Disney and the BBC? Could be interesting.
I talked about this the other day. I hadn't heard that there was any kind of co-production with Disney. I just heard that they got the streaming rights for North America. Uh, if they are indeed going to be involved in the production of Doctor Who, that's interesting, and I don't know what that looks like. It was like a co-venture between them and the BBC. I wonder if that is the case. I've not heard that, and I haven't looked that up. So everything with a grain of salt because I don't have a source for that. But if that is the case, I wonder if they're thinking we don't have the viewership we used to, the uh, the the interest and faith in the property isn't what it once was, the consumer confidence in it. If we get Disney behind us, maybe they can breathe some new life in it and on that service. I can kind of see the wisdom there, maybe, from their perspective anyway. But it's also really interesting if that ends up happening because Disney is apparently in the process of making a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. And those have never been, well, I was going to say those have never been in the same house. Obviously, they have been because in the 80s, that was both BBC, but they didn't cross over. There would maybe be potential for crossover if they did that because those are two, assuming that, because I don't know who gets to make the decisions about Hitchhiker, like if Douglas Adams' family or estate or anything has any say in any of that. I was going to say if they do, they might not want that. But if I don't know. There's a lot of ifs here because I don't even know how true this is. But yeah, I could see a lot of interesting things happening with that. It wouldn't give me any more confidence in that property for obvious reasons. Disney's put out a lot of mediocre to, bad stuff lately. And also, I don't want Disney owning everything. But that seems inevitable at this point. DJ, I just alluded to this a minute ago, so this is not the best segue I've ever done, but let's jump back a couple of clicks. Comicmovie.com, Black Adam star Dwayne Johnson reportedly has thinly veiled disdain for Shazam franchise.
What? Because it's better than his franchise?
An insider tells them Safran needs to win over all the other filmmakers, and Dwayne Johnson's thinly veiled disdain for Shazam means he probably isn't loving the idea that his boss is now the guy that produces Shazam. Keep in mind that Safran worked on that movie and Aquaman and is now co-head of the studio. Safran is pretty diplomatic, so this author thinks he will pull it off, but it won't be easy. Yeah, and this article also talks about how a lot of fans seem to not be behind the whole, silly Black Adam versus Superman thing because Superman is not Black Adam's arch nemesis, and it's really bizarre that, and I talked about this in the live show, or they're all live shows. I talked about this the other day when we reviewed Black Adam, that it's really weird that there's no mention whatsoever of Shazam in that movie, and that they both, have the lightning bolt, and they both say Shazam to become their respective superhero or anti-hero, and at one time that after credits was supposed to be Shazam, and it sounds like maybe Dwayne Johnson fought it really hard and got his way and got Cavill in there, and he's been playing it up really, really hard and acting all fanboy about it, and it really just seems like an ego trip thing, and everybody's saying that, but I agree. I don't mean to just jump on a bandwagon. I'd be saying that anyway, that Dwayne Johnson's like, well, Superman is the big DC heavy hitter character that started the whole thing with Man of Steel and is, besides Batman, the superhero most people know from DC, and maybe he knows that he was essentially the first superhero. Maybe he doesn't know that. I don't know what Dwayne Johnson knows about superheroes. He got to voice his dog in DC Super Pets, and he's got to be thinking, I want to be as close to the most important thing in the DCU as possible. See, it's confusing. You can't say it. It doesn't work.
He's acting like everyone wants to see this. He's like, what you all want to see is me fight Superman, right, guys? Like, no, nobody cares. Stop ruining our movies.
No, you're The Rock wearing a Black Adam costume for some reason. You're cosplaying in this multi-million-dollar movie, that multi-$100 million
Like
movie
what?
that somehow is at least had an okay opening, but is having a what looks like will probably be a pretty major drop off in the second weekend.
Yeah, it's got a superhero drop off.
Or I guess it's already had its second weekend, hasn't it? Because I saw it in its second weekend. So, yeah, I thought I had those numbers up here.
What? Yeah, we got a super chat asking about that, so I'll read
I'll
that.
bring that up. Yeah, thanks.
In a minute. But yeah, like I don't know. Like what you guys are gonna fight for like 10 minutes maybe in the movie? Like what? I don't understand. Why do we need a whole movie of you guys fighting? How is that exciting? I don't understand.
It's not. I don't know what to tell you. Box Office Mojo. Black Adam drops 59%, but retains top spot with 28 million because it probably didn't open against anything. Pray for the Devil opens to soft $7 million in week pre-Halloween weekend. Yeah, so projections are apparently that it will make about the money that Shazam made, but I don't know if it cost a lot more to make than that did. I'd have to go check the numbers against each other.
Yeah, so Mutale asked that. He said, also, were you going to talk about Black Adam's box office from the title? So
yes, I'm sorry. I totally forgot to bring that up, so thanks for reminding me about it. Because I thought I had a tab here, and I remember putting it there, but now it's not there. I'm not sure what I did. Box office for Shazam was $366 million, and I'm assuming that's worldwide. The budget was $80 to $100 million. Worldwide, I think I read that Black Adam has already made like $250, so it will do at least that much. Unfortunate if your name is Captain Logan, because I really didn't care for this movie. No, it costs almost double, $195 to $200 million, with currently a $252 million box office, which means if it only does as well as Shazam, it is not a failure, but basically break even. Because you have to at least double, if not triple, the usually have to at least double the budget to get to advertising fees.
Yeah. Wow, 200 million versus 80 million. That's crazy. Yeah. Big difference between the two. I haven't seen Black Adam, but Shazam looked fine for what it was. I don't think it needed $200 million budget.
I feel like it would have had better brand recognition if they had just called it The Rock. If they just called it DC's The Rock. You know? Because, like, the general populace doesn't know what Black Adam is, and it's confusing marketing because in the trailers he says Shazam, and that guy's not in there, and it has nothing to do with that, and he's trying to pretend like it's a much darker and more edgy film, even though it also has some kind of cringy humor and is, at the end of the day, another formulaic plug-in for the formula superhero movie. It is the most family-friendly feeling movie I've ever seen, with a main character that murders as many people as he murders in that movie.
Hey, Cap, this is something that we've never seen before, okay? This is an all-new thing. He's not like Superman and Batman, okay? He kills people.
Oh, is that right? Man. Do you know what Jason said?
He can't.
You know what Jason said in the review?
Without, yeah.
Jason said he should have played Venom. That's what Jason said.
He can't speak without like proving that he's never watched any of these movies because
much less looked at. People keep talking about how he hasn't looked at any comics and he doesn't even realize that Black Adam doesn't have a lot of solo comics. I'm like, forget that. He hasn't even seen the films.
Like, yeah, half of the DCU is all anti-hero movies. Like, what are you talking about, you nutcase? Anyway.
You heard it here first, folks. The provocateur thinks that The Rock is a nutcase.
Only when he talks about Black Adam. Like, everything he says is hilarious.
I want a Blu-ray box when Black Adam comes out that has a quote from DJ that says, I haven't seen the film, but The Rock is a nutcase.
All right. TH1, $2. Weird Al drops Friday. Plans?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Yeah, we're going to review it at some point. I'm thinking now there is way too much going on this month. This is going to be a really big month for us. And originally my plan had been to review that the Friday after, but I had to put the game show there, so it might be another weekend review. I was hoping to have a real big panel for that because I thought it would be really funny if the biggest panel review panel we've ever had was for the Weird Al movie. Because we have a lot of folks that work with me that like Weird Al and want to see that movie. So I will try to get at least, 3, if not 4 of us together for that. DJ, I don't know if you're planning on seeing that.
Yeah, I thought about seeing it. It's free, right? I mean, it's free to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just have to watch it. I just didn't know if you liked Weird Al at all.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
I used to. I haven't. Well, obviously he hasn't put anything out in forever. But,
yeah, I mean, he hasn't put out an album in almost 10 years, and he was like, well, and like in his defense, because I was gonna say he said he was gonna just put out a song when he thought of one and made it and was just done with albums because that's kind of a product of another time and for. He doesn't mean in music in general, but with novelty music, because you can just, record a thing the night after a song comes out and get it out. Waiting for an album is hard with him. Mm-hmm. But he actually hasn't done hardly any of those either. But he's been touring like mad, and he's been doing all of these really cool creative tours. And I saw 2 of them. I missed, unfortunately, the second, because my girls were too little and I just couldn't go. But I missed the second... what was he calling that? Vanity tour. But I saw the first one and it was wonderful. Where he's not unplugged, but he is sitting on a stool almost the whole show, and he is singing mostly his originals and not covers, or not like a cover parodies. And I love that because I'm a big Weird Al fan and I like a lot of that music, and a lot of that is just deep pull stuff that you'd never think you'd see in concert. And then I saw the 180 he did of that DJ where he went on stage with like a 50-piece orchestra. And that was one of the coolest shows I've ever seen, because we got to see Don't Download the Song with a 50-piece orchestra, and it's brilliant. It's wonderful, and that's my wife's favorite Weird Al song, so that was a really special thing for her. But I digress. Yeah, really, really excited about that movie. It's kind of my most anticipated film of the year, which is hilarious, but it is. And I keep seeing Radcliffe talking about it, and he seems very happy with what they made, and I can't wait to see it. So yeah, I can't promise how soon after that we'll talk about it. It will probably be a weekend. I have to have Austin there for that because he's as big of a Weird Al guy as I am and knows him as well or better. Jason really wants to be on that video. My stepdad, the Jeff, really wanted to make that, and I don't know if that's going to happen, but I will invite him. And I feel like there were like 2 or 3 other people that also wanted to do that show with us. So I don't know how many people we'll have on that, but I'll make sure that we get it done. So anyway, nobody cares about this. It'll be really funny if we have a huge panel and 15 people show up for that review.
The panel is the size of the review? The panel is the size of the chat?
I would love that.
Davis B.A. Sodenfol. $4.99.
That's a name I don't recognize. Welcome. Hi there.
Do you think a DCEU Kingdom Come movie could work with Black Adam and Shazam's role as a way to make a good Superman versus Black Adam movie? A good Superman v Black Adam movie. Sorry.
With Black Adam, he said in Shazam's role?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, the problem is we have a Shazam. So it would be kind of nice if we could see him, play a little darker and still do that. I don't know that we would need Black Adam to take over and do that. Is my only problem with that. But I mean, theoretically. But then I don't know. Like the Rock just wants to look all like dark and macho and sort of pseudo serious and stuff. Like I don't know that he would play it great. So yeah, I don't want that. But I mean, I can also see people complaining the other way with the Shazam we have, that they're playing that so much for comedy but I can't remember his name right now. I like him a lot. That's a better actor. And if that's what they wrote, he would be able to play that.
Zachary Levi.
Thank you. Yeah. No, he's a wonderful actor.
He's great. I don't understand what The Rock's goal is. Like, he's going... I don't care about this, but if he cares about fighting Superman as some cool thing, like, he's going to lose. It's Superman. Like, you're not going to look cool. You're going to get your butt beat. That's the whole point. Like, what? Why is he hyping up this fight so much when we know what's going to happen?
I guarantee you he's not thinking about it like that.
What
Because
does
yeah,
he want?
he has to be the villain in that fight, ergo he has to lose. Or if he insists on winning that, like,
He's insane.
well, that would be a really unfortunate way for Cavill to come back if that was the next time we saw him, right? I mean, like, maybe they'll get Man of Steel 2 out before that can happen, or whatever that movie ends up being. But, you know, I kind of hope that somehow or rather that never ends up happening, but they're already talking about a sequel to that movie.
Yeah, did you see that photo that The Rock posted of like them at a dinner, or they're like at his house? I think Henry Cavill was like at The Rock's house, and he like had this awkward photo where The Rock was like smiling at the camera, and Cavill was like holding a cup, and it looked like he was being held there against his will. It's amazing.
The whole
Poor
thing,
Cavill. Poor Henry Cavill.
So sorry, I have lots of thoughts right now. We'll move on in a second. I feel like he's got to be thinking about just power levels because he's kind of acting, you know, it goes without saying, superficially. And the whole thing with that movie is, look how insanely powerful Black Adam is. Nothing could take him down with the possible exception of Superman. So, you know, even though we sent the JSA to deal with that, and Amanda Waller did, because, yeah, Amanda Waller sends the JSA, and you know, at any point she could have sent Superman. I'm sorry, spoilers for that movie. I'm not sure at this point how many people will really care. Look at the drop off. I think most people, if they were going to see that movie, would have seen it by now, and everybody else either doesn't care or whatever. My apologies if I've spoiled something I shouldn't have. But anyway, the other thing, DJ, is he not reminding you a lot of Jason David Frank right now?
Maybe that's why I don't like him.
Does everything about this not sound like a Bat in the Sun production?
Yeah, it's
from
just
Dwayne Johnson's perspective. It's all about just
it's just
a
egos,
crossover
man.
where we hit. Yeah, like he's talking about it almost like they're not even both from the same franchise. Like it's an intercompany crossover, isn't it? Not Black Adam's gonna fight Superman. You know, as if it was Black Adam fighting Spider-Man or something.
Yeah. And he has said ridiculous things like that too, like when he was on that Netflix movie with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, and he was like, us three are gonna get this DC Marvel crossover thing going. We're talking to the studio heads. Like, he just says things.
Weird. Yeah, he's like us, but we're small potatoes and it doesn't matter. He needs to stop announcing things. That's
yes, because he has the money and the influence to make them happen, and I don't want to see them.
But also, this is just me, but how can you be, if you're an actor right now making those kinds of movies, that excited about getting to play action? Half of it's not you. Half of it's done on a computer. The stuff that is you is usually on a green screen, and it's super piecemeal. Like, how much actual stunt work does he get to do if he fights Superman? Most of that is flying around in the sky, hitting each other and dodging heat vision. How much of that does he get to play? Why does he want to see that so bad?
Well,
so he's that excited about seeing a bunch of animators being forced to stay up 19 hours a day to make that in a computer. So basically what he wants to see is a bunch of people living on 5 cups of coffee every day while he just shows up and strikes a pose. And then, oh, look, I fought Superman.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that. Jason David Frank doesn't care. He doesn't do the work. They film the whole Bat in the Sun's fight scene, and then he comes in. They film one shot where he takes his helmet off, and then he's like, "Yeah, that was me. I did all that." And it's like, they just want they want all the glory without doing any of the work.
John says he's just treating all this like wrestling promos.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what he's doing. I mean, I'm not going to fault the man. He knows how to market himself. He's making billions. He's making way more money than we'll ever make.
No, that's true. What's frustrating about it is just that he's gotten into superhero stuff. He's gotten into my domain.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
now I'm
stay
more
over there in the
frustrated.
car movies. We don't want you over
Yeah,
here.
just don't bring that stuff. Well, and the problem is those turn into superhero movies, so he's able to get away with treating it precisely the same way. And what sucks is, and I said this the other day, I like him in the Jumanji movies. I think he's great there. I think he should stay in comedy for the most part.
Oh yeah, he's much better at comedy than Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, isn't that
Like
weird?
playing the big,
Like, give
bulky
him
jock
scripted
guy.
comedy, he's okay.
Yeah, he's a likable. I mean, that's why everyone likes him. He's a likable, charismatic guy.
Yeah, and he's playing really against type with Black Adam, and it's not working. Sort of, because he's just doing his The Rock thing as Black Adam, and of course people have said that with different roles he's had for years, but this especially where it's like he just walks into a room and like does his face, and then
Does he do the eyebrow thing for real?
I don't think there's any place where he like makes a big deal out of it, but he's essentially that's almost his resting face as that character. AMC wrestling promos can be better than what he's doing. He should do that. He should go back to wrestling, and instead of I'm not saying
No,
go
he
back
should
to
do-
wrestling. I've liked him in movies. I'm just saying he should, not a lot, but again, in comedies, he should just stay in comedy. I don't know. He the Rock, just be Jim Carrey and stop being the Schwarzenegger. He should just be Black Adam. That should be his new name instead of The Rock.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
No, he should film promo videos, just yelling at Superman, like in character, just doing wrestling promos to Superman.
Connor says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! The Fast and the Furious movies are way better than Black Adam."
Oh, we weren't criticizing the quality. We're just saying stay over there, stay in your lane.
Well, no,
Pun
I did
intended.
say don't bring that into superhero movies. Like,
Oh, I thought you were just talking about don't bring that energy of like controlling where the movies go with your power.
well, that's essentially what I meant, but I can see why somebody would take it a different way. I've never seen one of those movies.
Me
And
neither.
I've been, again, I don't mean to announce things. I've been kicking around, maybe finally sitting down and binging through those over, maybe not totally binging it, but like over a period of a couple of months, and doing the same thing that I did with like the Halloween franchise and the Nightmare franchise, and just sitting down and doing like an hour or two stream and talk about my experience with that as a whole franchise, and just kind of review the whole thing as a franchise.
That's what we'll do when you get here. We'll lock ourselves in the theater for the 3 days you're here, and we'll just watch the entire Fast and the Furious franchise.
See,
And-
I know you're joking.
Oh, yes,
There's
100%.
not a single iota of you that could possibly be serious right now, because you don't even like good action movies. You don't even like character-driven action movies.
True. No, I mean, I don't know. I've liked action movies. It's just not a genre I seek out.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. Because I mean, I showed you The Matrix, and you liked that film fine, and
Yeah, it was fine. It was good.
so I mean, there are. I'm just saying there are probably. Now that I'm thinking of, like, there's probably action movies I could show you where you're like, yeah, that was good, but you wouldn't feel the need to seek it out. It's the same way I am with good horror, for the most part, where I'm like, yeah, I get it, that was worth watching. I don't need it in my life again, but that was worth watching.
Yeah. And both of those genres are both good genres to watch, like with other people. It's better to watch in a group.
Yes, that is absolutely right. Guys, I've got about 20 minutes left before I have to get going. So how many more super chats do we have, sir?
We have 3.
That is a good number. Last call for super chats. If you'd like to make sure that we talk about a topic of consideration from you, put that in right now, and we'll make sure and do at least 1 or 2 more pre-writtens if we've got the time. Go ahead, DJ.
Utale 35CAR. How is it that with all the cosmic stuff Marvel has done, DC on film hasn't touched yet?
That is a really good question. I like that a lot. I have, and I've not really thought too much about that, but a couple of possible answers immediately flock to my brain, DJ. The first of them is originally DC tried to start their shared universe from Green Lantern. So they're scared of Cosmic because they tried that in the first place and it didn't work out. And yeah, it was mostly on Earth and it was very much a Thor ripoff, but they've got to be. But I imagine that there's a little bit of we're kind of scared to go to space again for a long while. And that might be why, at least in the first few years, we didn't get that. The second thing is the most. I can't even say well received, but the movie that made the most money from them up until Aquaman was Suicide Squad. So keep it dark, edgy, and street level. And then of course they made I mean, to be fair, like they made more family fare and things that looked more like Marvel movies with Shazam and Aquaman. But look at how many more kind of dark and gritty, but still kind of silly and over the top things they've been making. We also talked about this the other day. 4 of their movies now are Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad adjacent movies. They think that's where the money is. It's either for the most part, like it's Aquaman, or that's where a lot of it is. It's Aquaman or it's Shazam for the family fare. Beyond that, it's Harley Quinn. It's Suicide Squad. It's it's anti-hero stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long it's going to be before they finally go to space, but I imagine with Gunn at the helm, one of the first things he'll try to get somebody to make will be a cosmic DC thing, as an answer to Guardians, and he would be right to do that. And I don't think he's going to try to get them to just make DC's Guardians, but get into the cosmic sphere, get out into space. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't gutsy enough to go, because I don't know if that Green Lantern show that was supposed to be on HBO Max is still happening or not, because I think that was maybe one of the things under Abrams' purview, and we keep joking about how we don't know if he's even still around and doing any of that stuff. So if that's not happening, I could actually see him having the guts to announce very early a Green Lantern movie, or like a Green Lantern core movie. I could see that. It's been a decade.
Yeah, over.
I mean, it's the right time for it. Wouldn't it be really weird and wacky if they tried to start a DC? I just thought of this: a DC cinematic universe with Green Lantern, and then the new guy comes in and basically soft reboots with Green Lantern.
That'd be pretty cool. He says, time, I'll do it myself.
I hope he directs it.
AMC Comics says, you want to hear something ironic?
I do.
In wrestling, one of The Rock's catchphrases was, know your role.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh man, like I don't want to say stay in your lane, try things, but yeah, maybe in this particular case.
All right, Mutale with another super chat. The Rock recently joked about Black Adam fighting Thor, and are you still not gonna do a review of Avatar 2?
No, I have no intention on seeing that movie, and I'm standing firm on that. I'm not gonna go.
Oh well, I'm totally gonna see it because first one was meh, and I want to see a good story with the visual effects that Cameron does. And I've been told that, and basically you can't really understand that movie unless you saw it in theaters in 3D IMAX or whatever. So I'm going to give it a chance and see it the way I'm supposed to see it and see if I actually like it.
Well, good luck. More power to you. I have no interest in that whatsoever. I thought that first movie was awful, and I did not care, and I don't like being told that I have to see a thing in 3D to appreciate it, because that is ableist, because I can't see in 3D. So there you go. No, I'm mostly joking about that, but yeah, I have no interest in that whatsoever. If people say it's really good and they can convince me that it's not like super preachy and pandering with stuff, you might be able to convince me to look at it on video, and people will go, oh no, you have to go in the theater. Yeah, I'm not going to the theater. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not saying I'll never watch that movie. I'm not going to the theater to see that movie. So yeah, sorry folks, but you will not get a review of that from me. Especially because when that comes out, I'm gonna be out of town. It's gonna be around Christmas. It's not worth it to me in the first place. I don't want to go. So yeah, no. I'm James Rolfe with Ghostbusters 2016 on this. I refuse.
And the last one is from Mr.
Sorry, he asked
Cool.
something else, didn't he?
He just said The Rock recently joked about Black Adam fighting
right.
Thor.
Of course he did. Yeah, well, like DJ said, every time he does an interview, he says something crazy.
He's got to keep his name in the news cycles. That's how you market yourself. Mr. Cool 210, how would you feel if one of these streaming services brought back Who Wants to Be a Superhero? Maybe with a feedback as the host.
Oh, I'd watch it. I really enjoyed that show. It's like everything that's wrong with reality TV was wrong with that show, especially how scripted it was and fake a lot of things were, and it maybe exploited its contestants in certain places too much, and it clearly had some paid actors and all of that, but I enjoyed it as a guilty pleasure both seasons, and I've done a whole scripted rewind on that. If you want to hear me talk at length about that, because I weirdly knew a lot about that that show, because I watched all that when I came out, and my wife and I were weirdly into that. Yeah, feedback coming back to host it would be probably the best possible situation. I don't know what he's doing anymore, or like where he's at in his life. But obviously that was Stan Lee who hosted that, and the only other, well, there's a couple of other people in comics that could come back and do that I would watch, partly just to, if it was that, partly to see like the potential train wreck. If McFarlane hosted that show, I would like waiting for Orville that crap, man. I'd be sitting around like the night it was supposed to stream and watch that as soon as it dropped. That would be amazing. But yeah, no, I would watch a season 3 of that.
Well, I mean, the best choice to host it would be The Rock, clearly, because he knows everything about superheroes.
My worry would be, and like this might be okay, but it's just so obvious. My worry would be that that the host would be somebody like Patton Oswalt. Actually, I really wouldn't want that, but that it would be somebody like him, or it would be I was gonna say, why can't I think of people's names right now? Mallrats. Kevin Smith, yeah. That'd be the other obvious go-to, right?
Yeah, definitely. I like the idea of not asking anyone to say it, just start saying the names of the films of the creator, just Mallrats. I know exactly what you meant.
Well, it helps though, right? Like if I give you
I knew exactly what you
can help
needed.
me get to it. Yeah. Danaverse likes Avatar. Connor likes Avatar. I realize people like Avatar, and that's totally cool. I'm not even saying you're crazy for liking that. I can see that like what people saw in that movie. It wasn't for me. I didn't care for how obvious a lot of stuff in that was, and
it's a military movie, which you and I both are just like, bleh.
No, I don't. And I didn't think it was as visually impressive as I don't want to say everyone, but as it was touted up to be.
Yeah, I wished I'd seen it when it came out in theaters. I didn't see it till like 2-3 years ago, like over 10 years after visual effects have already grown so much. So I wish I had seen it like when it was a thing. So I could have been impressed. That's why I'm looking forward to the new one.
If the whole thing had been animated, I would have been really impressed with it as an animated movie. But I didn't think the animation and the live action was like particularly well blended. I mean, like it was as well as that kind of thing possibly could be, I guess. The look of the movie was cool, I suppose, but I was getting Uncanny Valley with the Avatar characters. And I was out as soon as Sigourney Weaver's character smiled that big. I was like, nope, this is no longer a Sigourney Weaver performance. This is made in a computer. She doesn't do that.
We got one last super chat just came in from Utale. The Green Lantern show was retooled to a Jon Stewart show.
Is that right? Well, that's all right. Jon Stewart's my favorite Green Lantern, so I'll take that.
And another super chat. Cap from Senior Sticks.
Hi.
Can you make a Cap Logan AI to review all Soups media?
No, I cannot because I don't know how to program anything. I don't do code and stuff. And the question was not would you, it's can you. And the answer is no, I can't. But I also wouldn't because I've seen Terminator at all. It just seems like a mistake. I learned my lesson from cloning Vince. I'm not gonna make an AI. All right.
Till spawn year 2.
Well, that is all of. Don't say that. Never put a 2 at the end of that. People are gonna believe that. So that's the end of the super chats. Do we have any really good pre-writtens that might be great to end off?
Yeah, well, I have one that you definitely wanted to talk about tonight from Wooly.
Hi.
Cap and DJ, thoughts on the latest news surrounding Power Rangers 30th and returning Rangers?
Oh, actually, the one that I mentioned to you, we've already covered. That wasn't actually the one I was talking about. But maybe it was first on your screen for some reason, because like the very first question we covered already.
Oh yeah. But this has been brought up the last few weeks.
Okay.
The 30th.
Sorry, when you said I really wanted to talk about this, I was like, this is not the question I thought you were going to bring up. I was like, really? Did I? Okay. No, 30th anniversary. Say that again.
Have you been keeping up with the latest news surrounding the 30th anniversary and the returning Rangers?
No, I've heard a lot of people are coming back, and I keep meaning to check into that. But I keep seeing articles and videos, and I honestly forgot to check on that. So no, I have not. I'm assuming that Jason David Frank is not one of the people coming back because he keeps saying that he's done with the franchise. And
yeah, I've seen things here and there. A lot of the originals are all coming back. Probably not the Red Ranger now. Probably not the Red Ranger now.
No, no. I guarantee you, he was probably one of the first people that was announced, because he's going about his life like business as usual.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He just got off scot-free?
No, the justice system takes a lot of time. He just hasn't had to go to trial yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, he's free. He's out. He just has to have his day in court. So now he's going about like business as usual. Depending on when his court date and everything is, and like he's not talking about any of that, of course. And he's smart too. I'm not giving Austin St. John crap, and I don't want to talk about that whole situation because we don't know enough. But we'll see what happens when more information about that comes out. Inevitably when that finally happens. But no, like he went to Power Morphicon. He's been making a lot of videos lately. He just did a review of a video on the 6th Ranger YouTube channel. Like he's doing a lot of like random Power Ranger stuff right now. I guarantee you he's doing that show.
Yeah, well, just because he's going about.
Thomas says Austin St. John sadly not. That's surprising to me if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, maybe they didn't. I mean, maybe they don't want him.
There's no way they don't want him. Oh, you just mean because of the.
Yeah,
distance themselves from backlash.
But the only I've heard there's like 10. It's only 10 episodes. The creator announced. Which people were like, "What? That's crazy."
I think we've talked about that part of it, but yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
No, they're just doing it as a miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
That was not at all surprising to me though, given that, because remember we did a show where I was speculating that it might be the last overall season of the regular continuity and that they'll reboot after that. And I wasn't surprised by that, given that it's the same cast from this last show. It's one more tacked on third season for them, and because it's going to space, and I wonder how much of it's Sentai and how much footage they're shooting on their own, because they're going to space, they probably can't afford more than that. I mean, you gotta keep in mind that they only get 15-20 episode regular seasons anyway. And they don't do the Disney era cosmic stuff anymore. It's always Earthbound. Like, they probably don't have the money to do that kind of thing if they do too many episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Lowe says Rocky is in it. He has been.
That's cool.
I listened to an interview with Cardenas recently, and he talked about how he's been petitioning to get back in the franchise for years, and nobody ever returns his phone calls. It's freaking sad. So
Well, he lucked out that the Red Ranger became problematic, and now he's next in line.
boy, that's a good point. I did hear that Billy and Zach were there, so I don't know how many other senior sticks didn't the Power Rangers already go to space. Well, yeah, but I mean, there's you know,
Space is big.
there's a lot of series. Time goes by. There's a whole ton of. I mean, every season is a different set of Rangers. Some seasons are more Earthbound. Some are on other planets. Some are in space. And it's just been a really long time since we've done Cosmic Power Rangers. So it's interesting that Cosmic is in the title.
Oh yeah, there's a picture with Adam, Zach, Billy, and Rocky, and Nisha, and Catherine, all on set. That's pretty cool.
Oh, cool. I follow Kat's YouTube channel, and I hadn't heard her mention that she was going to be in it, so that's cool. All right, well, are you ready to wrap up, DJ?
I'm ready as ever.
Everybody, thanks a lot for joining us tonight for the Captain Logan Show. We covered lots of different little news stories, and we kind of kept in that vein through a lot of the show. It really did feel like a bona fide multi-topic extravaganza.
Yeah, multi-topic extravaganza.
So that was fun. That was a good Vince impression. We'll be back again on Thursday for another one. Not sure what the lead-in topic will be, but we'll see if any other big news rears its head. And tomorrow night, Austin and I are going to be doing another request. And the request this week was for The Iron Giant, which is a movie I haven't seen in a bazillion years. So that'll be really interesting to talk about. And then join us again also on Friday for, like I said earlier, a review of several old What If issues. So lots of fun to be had this week on Geekvolution. I was Captain Logan, and as always, making the world turn here on the channel, it's DJ Martinez.
That's me. I started the fire.
But he didn't shoot the deputy. What? I don't know. See you later, folks. Bye, everybody.
Hey, let's wait.